Good evening, it's story time. Tonight we're reading another Lost Sheep book, and tonight we're doing Basil the Branch. Now, there's a series of Basil books that I'm going to read because I love Basil. But let's have a look at this one, and I'm going to have a quick read at what it says at the back. So, because it gives you ideas of things to talk to your kids about while you're reading it. So in the beginnings, begin by saying, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. This is in Galatians 5, verse 22. Which of these do you find hard to put into practice? I think patience and self-control are probably the ones I find hardest. Do you think branches on grapevines ever find it hard to make their fruit? It's an interesting question, isn't it? So, today's book is Basil the Branch. And it's by Andrew McDonagh. Andrew McDonagh. You get a little grapevine. And then, the grapevine's lost all its leaves. Oh dear. Doesn't look sad though. Basil the Branch. Basil. Once there was a beautiful grapevine. It's a very beautiful grapevine. And on that vine lived a branch named Basil. There's Basil. There's Basil. One day, Basil started thinking, here I am, a branch on a grapevine, but look at me, no grapes. Basil looks sad. Oh, poor Basil. So Basil took a deep breath, wiggled his shoulders up and down, focused all his energy on the end of his stalk and strained with all his might. Straining with all his might. Do you think it'll work? Will he produce a grape? What do you think? Oh, Basil's trying so hard. He's trying in all his strength, using all his strength to try. Basil opened his eyes, looked down at the end of this stalk and saw nothing. But Basil was not one to let things get him down. Obviously, I didn't try hard enough. If I try harder, if I work longer, I will produce a bunch of grapes. Basil does look a bit sad. But he's going to try again. He's not going to give up. No, Basil doesn't quit. So Basil took 2 deep breaths, wiggled his shoulders up and down, forwards and backwards, focused all his strength on the end of his stalk and strained with all his might. Oh, he's working hard. He's trying really hard to make those grapes. Really hard. He's putting a lot of effort in. Puff, puff. I don't think Basil could try harder. I don't. No. Basil opened his eyes and looked down at the end of his stalk and saw nothing. Not a single grape. But Basil refused to let things get him down. Obviously, I didn't try hard enough. If I try harder, if I work longer, if I will produce a bunch of grapes. What do you think? Do you think Basil can do it? I think he's going to try. So Basil took 3 deep breaths, wiggled his shoulders up and down, forward and backwards from side to side, and clenched his teeth, focusing all his energy on his stalk and strained with all his might. Puff, 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 pant, puff, puff, big puff. Oh, he put a big effort in this time, didn't he? There was a huge effort from Basil. Basil certainly tried. He gave it all he could. Basil opened his eyes and looked down at the end of his stalk and saw nothing. Not even a sultana. Basil was down. He looks pretty sad, doesn't he? Oh, poor Basil. Obviously, I didn't try hard enough. If only I'd tried harder. If I'd worked longer, I would have produced a bunch of grapes. Poor Basil. Poor Basil, look at him. He looks so sad. So sad. Poor Basil. Oh. What do you think's going to happen? Oh, who's this? Hi, Basil, said a voice. Basil looked over his shoulder to see who was interrupting his moment of despair. Who are you? Asked Basil. I am the vine, said the vine, and you are the branch. You can't produce grapes on your own. Stop straining and just stick with me. Oh, isn't that? He looks like a nice vine, doesn't he? He's a nice vine. So Basil took a deep breath, wiggled his shoulders and focused on the vine. And that's who we should focus on, isn't it? We should focus on Jesus because he's the vine. When summer came, there on the end of his stalk was a beautiful bunch of grapes. Look at that, doesn't Basil look happy? The vine always looked happy. But how cool is that? Basil's got his grapes. Yay, Basil! And he didn't have to strain or stretch, did he? He knew that the vine all full of grapes. Happy grapes. Now, what was the secret of Basil bearing fruit? Was it anything that he could do? No, it wasn't, was it? He just had to connect with the vine and focus on the vine. So that's good. Jesus said, I am the vine and you are the branches. And ask, so what do you think is the secret of bearing fruit? Digging into Jesus, that's right. So in John 15, verses 1 and 5, Jesus said to his disciples, I am the vine and you are the branches. If you stay joined to me and I stay joined to you, then you will produce lots of fruit. But you can't do anything without me. How cool is that? So that's Basil and the branch. Stay tuned to the next video, which is going to be Basil and the Secateurs, which is my all-time favourite Lost Sheep book. I love Basil and the Secateurs. But I'll catch you in the next video. Bless you.